The garage door slammed shut like a coffin lid, trapping Alex in the stale dark with nothing but the echo of his twin's venomous words. "You're dead to me, you freak." Rain hammered the tin roof above, drowning out his frantic pleas, while inside the house, laughter from their parents' anniversary party mocked the fracture, ripping their identical worlds apart. In that suffocating void, Alex clawed at the lock, his heart pounding not just from fear, but from the raw betrayal of the brother who'd shared his every breath, until now. Alex Harper had always known the garage was his brother's fortress. Ben built it that way, piece by rusty bolt, starting back when they were kids in that sagging split level in Elmwood, Ohio, a town so flat and forgotten it felt like the edge of the world. At 12, Ben had dragged in his first toolbox, salvaging scraps from junkyards to hammer together shelves for his Hot Wheels empire. Alex tagged along, of course. They were twins, mirror images down to the crooked scar above their left eyebrows from that time they both wiped out on the same bike. But even then, Ben claimed the space as his own. "This is mine," he'd say, shoving Alex's toy cars aside. Boys don't share with sissies. By 18, the garage had evolved into Ben's man cave. Walls plastered with posters of the Cleveland Browns and faded Metallica tickets. A mini fridge humming with stolen beers, and a workbench scarred from half-hearted attempts at fixing their dad's old Chevy. Alex learned early to knock before entering, to respect the invisible line Ben drew between them. It wasn't just about space, it was about identity. Ben was the straight-A jock, captain of the wrestling team, the one who brought home prom dates in his buddy's borrowed Camaro. Alex was the quiet artist, sketching portraits in the margins of his notebooks, stealing glances at the lithe boys on the swim team instead of cheering for Ben's takedowns. They'd navigated the differences like a fragile truce. Ben covered for Alex when he'd sneak out to the one indie coffee shop in town, where out-of-towners whispered about that queer vibe. Alex hyped Ben up for college applications, forging essays when Ben's dyslexia turned words into enemies. "We're Harpers," Ben would grunt, clapping Alex on the back hard enough to bruise. "We got each other's backs." It was their mantra, etched into the family lore like the tattoo Ben got on his 18th birthday, a Celtic knot symbolizing unbreakable bonds, which Alex secretly inked on his own ribcage the next week. But that rainy April evening in 2015, the night of their parents' 25th anniversary bash, the truce shattered. The house on Maple Street buzzed with neighbors in ill-fitting suits, passing deviled eggs and swapping stories about factory layoffs at the tire plant. Alex had spent the afternoon in the kitchen, chopping veggies for Mom's famous salad, his stomach knotted tighter than the tie choking his neck. He'd rehearsed the words 1,000 times in the shower, steam clouding the mirror where he practiced his smile. "Coming out. To the whole damn family." Ben had found out 2 weeks earlier, bursting into Alex's room after overhearing a hushed phone call to his first boyfriend, a barista named Jamie from Kent State. "You what?" Ben had roared, face twisting like Alex had confessed to murder. "Jesus, Alex, we're twins. How the hell am I supposed to look at you now?" The argument spilled into shouts, Ben pacing like a caged wolf, hurling slurs Alex had only heard in locker room echoes. "Faggot. Pervert. You're gonna ruin us." Alex had begged him to keep it quiet, tears hot on his cheeks. "Just let me tell them my way." Ben stormed out, slamming doors, but the next day he acted normal, too normal, with forced grins and backslaps that landed wrong. Now, as the party swelled, Alex hovered by the punch bowl, scanning for Ben amid the ants cooing over baby photos. His heart jackhammered when Dad called for toasts, the room falling into expectant hush. Mom beamed from her perch on the floral sofa, her silver-streaked hair pinned with the pearl clip Alex had bought her last Mother's Day. This was it. He cleared his throat, stepping forward, words tumbling out like freed birds. "Mom, Dad, everyone, I love you all, and I need you to know who I really am. I'm gay." The silence stretched, thick as the humidity clinging to the air. Faces blurred, Cousin Rita's mouth agape, Uncle Hank's brow furrowing. Then Mom's eyes welled, her hand fluttering to her chest. "Oh, honey." Dad shifted, uncomfortable but steady, murmuring, "We're here for you, son." Scattered claps rippled, awkward but genuine. like the town finally exhaling after holding its breath for years. Ben exploded from the kitchen doorway, beer bottle shattering against the wall in a spray of foam and glass. "Liar!" he bellowed, veins bulging in his neck. "He's lying. Always has been a goddamn liar." The room froze as Ben lunged, grabbing Alex by the collar, dragging him toward the back door. "You think this is funny? Humiliating us like this?" Alex stumbled, shock rooting him as Ben's fist connected with his jaw. Not hard enough to break bone, but sharp enough to split skin. Blood trickled warm down his chin. "Ben, stop!" Mom shrieked, but Dad was already hauling Ben back, wrestling his flailing arms. Neighbors gawked, whispers erupting like fireworks. Alex tasted copper, the world tilting as Ben's eyes. Those mirror blue eyes, burned with something feral unrecognizable. "Get him out!" Ben snarled over Dad's shoulder. "Lock him up till he comes to his senses." The garage. It happened so fast. Ben wrenching free, shoving Alex through the side door into the dim space that smelled of oil and regret. The latch clicked, heavy and final, as rain began its assault on the roof. Alex pounded the door, voice cracking. "Ben, open up. We're family." But the only reply was the party's murmur filtering through, laughter now laced with pity. Inside the dark, Alex slid down the wall, knees to chest, the cold concrete seeping through his khakis. His phone buzzed in his pocket. Texts from Jamie. "Proud of you, babe. Call me." But the signal bars flickered, useless in this Faraday cage of metal and memory. Hours blurred, the storm raging like Ben's unspoken grief. Why? Alex wondered, tracing the scar on his brow. They'd shared everything, wounds, whispers in the night. Was blood really thicker than this? Dawn crept in gray slivers under the door when the latch finally rattled. Alex scrambled up, hope flickering, but it was Dad, face haggard, eyes red-rimmed. "Son, I'm sorry." He pulled Alex into a hug that smelled of aftershave and worry, helping him to the car. Ben was gone, peeled out at midnight, tires screeching on wet asphalt, leaving a note, "Need space. Don't follow." The family party had dissolved into hushed cleanup, Mom chain-smoking on the porch, vowing therapy for them all. Back at his tiny apartment above the local bookstore, rented with scholarship scraps and part-time barista shifts, Alex patched his lip with butterfly strips, staring at his reflection. The bruise bloomed purple, a twin to the ache in his chest. He texted Ben, "We need to talk. Please." No reply. Days turned to weeks, Ben ghosting calls, blocking numbers. Alex threw himself into finals at the community college, sketching feverishly in the margins. Portraits of fractured faces, garages with open doors spilling light. Then Jamie. They'd met months back at that coffee shop, sparks over spilled lattes and shared playlists of the National and Bon Iver. Jamie was a transfer student from Chicago, all sharp wit and easy smiles, with tattoos snaking up his arms like vines claiming a trellis. Love bloomed tentative like spring weeds through concrete. Stolen kisses in Jamie's dorm, road trips to Cleveland for indie films, where they'd hold hands in the dark, anonymous and safe. Alex started to heal, the bruise fading to yellow, Ben's silence a dull throb he learned to ignore. "You're enough," Jamie whispered one night, their bodies curled on the futon, hearts sinking like twin engines. For the first time, Alex believed it. Summer scorched Elmwood, humidity turning the air to soup. Alex landed an internship at a Cincinnati gallery, packing boxes with dreams of escape. Ben resurfaced sporadically, a grunted happy birthday text, a shadow at the family cookout. Avoiding eye contact like Alex was contagious. Mom mediated, her voice cracking over speakerphone. "Give him time, baby. He's scared." Scared of what? Alex wanted to scream. Of loving me less? But he swallowed it, focusing on Jamie's laugh, the way his eyes crinkled like autumn leaves. It was Labor Day weekend when the call came. Alex was elbow-deep in paint at the gallery, Jamie humming beside him as they prepped for a queer artist's exhibit. His phone shattered the peace. Mom, sobbing. Ben, accident. Semi on the interstate. He's critical. Blood loss, they need a donor. You're a match. Twins always are. The world funneled to a pinpoint. Alex dropped the roller, paint splattering like fresh wounds. I'm coming. Tires hummed the 100 miles to the hospital in Dayton. Jamie's hand steady on his thigh. Words a lifeline. Whatever happens, you've got me. But inside, Alex's mind reeled. Ben? Begging for his blood? After the garage, the slurs, the silence? The irony clawed deep. The very tie that bound them could save him now. The ER waiting room was a purgatory of fluorescent buzz and muffled cries. Mom paced. Dad slumped in a vinyl chair, faces carved hollow by grief. He swerved to miss a deer, Dad rasped. Rolled the truck 3 times. Scans showed internal bleeding, a lacerated liver, O-negative blood. Rare as mercy. Nurses hovered, charts rustling. Family match is best. Mr. Harper. Alex? We need you prepped. In the sterile draw room, needle poised, Alex hesitated. The phlebotomist paused, kind eyes questioning. You okay? No, he wasn't. Flashes. Ben's fist, the slamming door, the empty texts. Betrayal's echo. But beneath it, the scar, the knot tattoo, the mantra. We're Harpers. Blood wasn't just biology. It was choice, forgiveness forged in veins. Do it, he whispered. The prick was nothing compared to the heart's surrender. The transfusion ward felt like a confessional. All hushed beeps and 4 drips marking time like rosary beads. Alex lay on the gurney, arm tethered to the bag that would snake into Ben's veins, their blood mingling in some clinical alchemy. Jamie squeezed his free hand from the visitor's chair, thumb circling soothing patterns. You're a goddamn hero, he murmured, voice thick. Alex managed a weak smile, but inside, storm clouds gathered. Hero? Or fool? Pouring life back into the brother who tried to bury him? Nurses bustled. Charts clipped to boards rattling like distant thunder. Mom hovered at the curtain's edge, wringing her hands, mascara tracks carving rivers down her cheeks. He'll pull through, Alex. Because of you. Dad stood sentinel by the window, staring at the parking lot lights winking like fallen stars. No one mentioned the garage, the unspoken fracture. It hung there, heavier than the humid night pressing against the glass. Ben stabilized by morning, color creeping back into his cheeks under the harsh lights. Doctors murmured miracles, liver knitting, vital steadying. Twin transfusion saved him, one said, clapping Alex's shoulder. Saved by the grace he almost rejected. Alex lingered in the hall, peering through the observation window at Ben's still form, tubes snaking like accusations. Their faces mirrored even in repose. Same jawline, same faint freckles across the nose. But Ben's eyes, when they fluttered open later that day, carried a haunted glaze. The reconciliation, if it could be called that, unfolded in fragments. First, a nod from Ben across the room, weak as watered whiskey. Then words, gravelly through the oxygen mask. Thanks. Alex swallowed the lump in his throat, perching on the bed's edge. You scared us. Ben's gaze skittered away, fixing on the wilted flowers Mom had smuggled in. Didn't mean to. The accident, he confessed in halting bursts, had been a blur of speed and rage. Pushing the truck to outrun the shame, the whispers after the party. I outed you to the guys at the shop. Said you were confused. A phase. Betrayal layered on betrayal, each word a fresh cut. Alex's chest tightened, old wounds reopening. A phase? Ben, that's me. All of me. Jamie, stationed like a guard in the corner, tensed, but Alex waved him off. This was twin territory, raw and uncharted. Ben's hand twitched, seeking connection, but fell short. I panicked. Dad's retiring soon, the plant's closing. How was I supposed to hold it together if my own brothers? He trailed off, the slur unspoken but echoing. You're my brother, Alex said, voice steel-wrapped in velvet. Not my alibi. The room thickened with regret, Ben's breaths ragged. That night, as Alex crashed in the family lounge on a lumpy cot, Jamie curled beside him, whispers weaving through the dark. You don't owe him absolution. But Alex did in the twisted logic of blood. Forgiveness wasn't erasure. It was excavation, digging for the boy Ben used to be. Discharge came a week later. Ben wheeled out under a brittle October sun. Elmwood greeted them with crisp leaves skittering across cracked sidewalks, the air sharp with wood smoke from backyard fires. Home was tentative. Mom's pot roast steaming on the table, Dad's forced jokes about Harper luck. Ben moved like a ghost, stitches pulling with every step, but he stuck around, crashing in the basement rec room instead of bolting. Alex commuted back to Cincinnati, gallery shifts blurring into late nights with Jamie. Their apartment a sanctuary of exposed brick and half-finished canvases. The romance deepened in stolen weekends. Jamie surprised Alex with tickets to a Sufjan Stevens concert in Columbus. The drive there a symphony of shared silences and indie folk on the radio. In the crowd, bodies swaying under colored lights, Jamie pulled him close, lips brushing his ear. This is us, real as rain. They danced slow, Alex's head on Jamie's shoulder, the world narrowing to heartbeats and harmony. Back home, tangled in sheets scented with patchouli and possibility, Alex traced Jamie's tattoos, learning their stories. A phoenix for his coming-out blaze, an anchor for the family that stayed. But Ben's shadow lingered. Texts arrived sporadic. PT sucks. Miss wrestling. Or saw your sketch in Mom's fridge. Not bad. Cracks in the ice, tentative bridges. Alex replied cautiously, sharing snippets of city life. Vibrant murals. Queer pride flags fluttering from fire escapes. One crisp Saturday, Ben showed up unannounced at the apartment, duffel slung over his good shoulder. Need a place to crash. Shop slow. Jamie eyed him warily from the kitchen, but Alex nodded. Couch is yours. The weekend was a minefield of small talk and microwave dinners. Ben grilled Jamie over burgers. You play sports. His tone probing, protective. Jamie fired back with easy charm. Nah, but I can bench more than you right now, Gimpy. Laughter cracked the tension. Ben's first real guffaw since the hospital. That night, beers cracked open on the fire escape, city lights twinkling below like distant approvals. Ben stared into his bottle, words spilling slow. I was wrong. About everything. Watched this doc on Netflix about twins separated at birth or some shit. Realized. We're not separate. Can't be. Alex's throat tightened. Then stopped trying. Ben nodded, clinking bottles. Working on it. Therapy. Like Mom wants. Progress. Fragile as frost. Fall deepened. Leaves turning Elmwood into a postcard of russet and gold. Alex's exhibit opened to murmurs of acclaim. Portraits of fractured kin. Garages reborn as portals of light. Jamie beamed from the front row, bouquet of sunflowers in hand. Ben came too, awkward in khakis, lingering by a piece titled Mirror Mercy. Two silhouettes, one reaching, one retreating, bound by crimson threads. That's us, he said softly. Alex nodded, chest swelling. Yeah, it is. But peace was the illusion, shattered on All Hallows' Eve. Alex and Jamie hit a haunted hayride in the suburbs, laughter echoing amid cornstalk ghosts. Ben tagged along, pumpkin ale loosening his tongue. At the bonfire's edge, flames licking the night, he confessed more. The real betrayal, the one that had festered unspoken. After the party, I didn't just tell the guys. Emailed Dad's boss. Said you were unstable. Might embarrass the family at that internship thing. Alex froze, ale turning bitter. The gallery had pulled strings for him. A favor from a family friend, now tainted by whispers. Why? Ben's face crumpled. Thought it'd keep you here. Safe. With us. Safe in a cage. The fire popped, embers swirling like accusations. Jamie's hand found Alex's, grounding, but the hurt bloomed fresh. Betrayal's second act, deeper for its disguise as love. Alex walked out, boots crunching leaves, breath fogging in the chill. Jamie followed, silent support. Back home, Ben's truck was gone by dawn. Another note. Fucked up again. Sorry. The cycle spun on, pulling Alex under. Was redemption a myth, or just another garage door slamming shut? Winter crept in on sleet-laced winds, blanketing Elmwood in gray. Alex threw himself into work, curating a holiday show on hidden harmonies, queer voices in American art. Jamie anchored him, their love a quiet revolution. Lazy mornings with coffee and crosswords, drives to Lake Erie where they'd skip stones and dream of Chicago lofts. "Marry me," Jamie joked one blustery afternoon, ring pop in hand. Alex laughed, slipping it on. In a heartbeat, Ben's absence echoed louder than presence. Mom called weekly, updates laced with worry. "He's drinking too much. Quit therapy." Dad grumbled about overtime, the plant's shadow lengthening. Christmas loomed, a forced reunion in twinkling lights and eggnog toasts. Alex arrived with Jamie in tow, hand in hand, a quiet declaration. The tree glowed in the bay window, ornaments from their childhood dangling like talismans. Dinner was a tightrope. Ben at the end of the table, eyes shadowed, carving turkey with mechanical precision. Toast skirted edges. Health, hope, but undercurrents swirled. After pie, as carols crackled on the radio, Ben pulled Alex aside to the garage. Snow dusted the workbench, tools gleaming under a bare bulb. "I sold it," Ben said, gesturing to the empty space where his old Chevy once hunkered. "Needed the cash. And space for new shit." Alex leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed. "Like what?" Ben rummaged in a box, pulling out a wrapped package. Clumsy paper, his handwriting scrawled. "For the brother I almost lost." Inside, a sketch pad, leather-bound, and a set of charcoals. "Saw your work. Thought, maybe we could draw together. Like kids." Vulnerability cracked Ben's voice, the scar above his eye catching the light. Tears pricked Alex's eyes. "You hate my art." Ben shook his head. "Hated what it meant. For me, not you." The garage, once prison, now portal, open, inviting. They sat on milk crates, Ben's lines shaky as he traced a simple knot, Alex adding flourishes. Laughter bubbled, tentative as snow fell soft outside. But fate, that cruel curator, had one more twist. New Year's Eve, sirens wailed again. Not for Ben, but for Dad. Heart attack at the plant, rush to ICU. The family converged, monitors beeping dirges. Ben paced like a shadow, Alex and Jamie bookending Mom's vigil. In the sterile hush, Ben gripped Alex's arm. "Don't let go, please." Blood ties, frayed but fierce. Dawn brought stability, stents, survival. As they drove home through slushy streets, Ben turned to Alex, voice raw. "I get it now. Loving who you love is not a choice. It's you." The words hung, a bridge half-built. Alex nodded, Jamie's hand warm in his lap. Redemption wasn't a single act. It was this, driving through winter's white, toward spring's uncertain thaw. Spring unfurled in Elmwood like a hesitant promise, dogwoods blushing pink against the thawing earth. The Harper house stirred with renewal. Dad homebound but hearty, barking orders from his recliner as Mom fussed over low-sodium recipes. Ben threw himself into reinvention, trading shop grease for community college night classes, welding to graphic design, a nod to Alex's world. "Figured I'd try your arty shit," he joked over backyard beers, the grill smoking with burgers that tasted like truce. Alex's life in Cincinnati pulsed brighter. The gallery promoted him to assistant curator, his exhibit touring to Columbus amid whispers of raw authenticity. Jamie's grad school acceptance to the Art Institute sealed their pact. A summer move to Chicago, city of windswept wonders and endless horizons. Weekends blurred into feverish planning, apartment hunts via grainy video calls, playlists curated for the drive west. "Our great escape," Jamie called it, spinning Alex in the kitchen to imagined waltzes. Yet Ben's orbit pulled, gravitational and guilt-laced. He crashed their city pads more, bunking on the couch with tales of small-town scandals. One muggy June evening, after a Reds game streamed on the laptop, beers sweating on coasters, Ben broached the unbroachable. "Brought someone." The admission landed soft, but seismic. He scrolled his phone, showing pics. A woman named Riley, red-haired and quick-smiled, met at a design workshop. She's cool. Knows about you. Us. Alex's heart stuttered, pride warring with phantom ache. Good for you. Jamie, ever the diplomat, raised a glass. To new chapters. But later, tangled in bed, Alex confessed the sting. It's like he's finally free because I'm fixed in his head. Jamie kissed his temple. Or maybe he's learning. From you. The betrayal's ghost lingered, though in subtle sabotages. Alex's internship file resurfaced, that email Ben confessed to, now a footnote in HR gossip, stalling a reference letter. Coincidence? Ben swore when confronted over coffee, eyes earnest. I'd fix it if I could. But doubt seeded, sprouting questions. Was Ben's thaw genuine, or just survival's sleight of hand? Independence Day crackled with fireworks and family. The town square bloomed with flags and funnel cakes. Elmwood's annual bash a riot of red, white, and blue. Alex and Jamie arrived arm in arm, a quiet flag of their own amid the crowd. Ben manned the grill at a picnic spread, Riley at his side, her laugh cutting through the humid haze. Hugs exchanged easy now as kids darted with sparklers. Dad, stronger on his feet, pulled Alex aside by the cotton candy stand. Proud of you, son. Both ways. As dusk fell, pyrotechnics bloomed overhead, bursts of gold and crimson mirroring the Harper men on a blanket's edge. Ben leaned in, voice low under the booms. Riley, she gets it. The twin thing. Says I'm lucky to have you. Alex searched his face, finding sincerity etched in laugh lines. Prove it. Ben nodded, pulling a USB from his pocket. Your file. I hacked in Don't Ask and scrubbed the email trail. Clean. Forgiveness flickered, a spark in the dark. They watched the finale together, shoulders brushing, the past shrapnel dulled by display. Chicago beckoned in August swelter. The move was chaos. U-Haul stuffed with canvases and cookware, Jamie's vinyl collection teetering like a modern Tower of Babel. Ben drove convoy, truck bed loaded with essentials. A cooler of Elmwood sweet corn, Mom's quilt, and that old toolbox, repurposed for city fixes. Can't let you roughnecks starve, he teased. Unloading in the Lakeview walk-up with its creaky floors and view of the L rumbling by. The city swallowed them whole. Skyline kisses at Navy Pier, deep dish debates in Wrigleyville, gallery crawls where Alex's name buzzed in hushed tones. Jamie thrived in classes, charcoal smudges on his cheeks like war paint. Their love rooted deep, mornings with the trib over oatmeal, nights tracing constellations from the fire escape. Ben visited monthly, train tickets a ritual, crashing on the air mattress with stories of Riley's ring shopping and his first freelance gig. A logo for the local LGBTQ center back home. But autumn winds carried cracks. Ben's calls grew erratic, voice edged with strain. Plants gone for good. Dad's pension's shit. Then the bomb. Riley's pregnant. Joy laced with terror. Ben, father at 23, Elmwood's golden boy tethered forever. Alex flew home for the ultrasound, hand on Ben's shoulder as the heartbeat thrummed like a war drum. We'll be uncles, Ben said, grin boyish. Alex hugged him fierce. And you'll be great. Thanksgiving in Ohio was a feast of firsts. Riley's glow, Dad's carved bird steadier, Mom's pie lattice perfect. Toasts veered heartfelt. Ben's to blood that binds, not blinds. Alex met Ben's eyes across the table, the scar's twin twinkle a vow. Winter gripped Chicago in icy claws, but their world warmed. Jamie proposed for real on New Year's, knee in the snow by the bean, ring glinting like a captured star. Forever. Alex breathed yes, tears freezing on lashes. Ben flew in for the news, bear hug enveloping them both. Knew it. You're sappier than a Hallmark flick. Spring 2017 bloomed with Ben's bachelor party. A low-key cabin in the Hocking Hills, flannel and fire pits. Riley opted out, nesting, but Ben insisted on bro time. Beers cracked, stars wheeling overhead. Ben's confessions flowed freer than the creek. That email, it wasn't just fear. Jealousy. You were brave coming out. I was hiding from Dad's expectations, Mom's worries. Used you as the villain to feel like the hero. Alex stared into the flames, embers dancing. And now? Ben shrugged, vulnerable. Heroes overrated. Just wanna be brother. They clinked cans, the past's weight lifting like fog. The wedding was quintessential Midwest. July heat in a white-steepled church. Riley in lace. Ben in a suit that almost fit. Alex stood best man, speech weaving humor and heart. Twins aren't mirrors, they're maps. Ben, you led me to courage. Vows exchanged under stained glass. Rainbows refracted in light. But life's script twisted sharp. September brought hurricane headlines, Harvey's fury in Houston. Riley's cousin, trapped in the flood, needed evac. Ben wired cash, then more, draining savings. Family, he said, echoing their mantra. Alex and Jamie sent what they could, but cracks spiderwebbed. Ben's freelance dried up, Dad's health dipped with stress. October's chill deepened the strain. Ben called late, slurred. Lost the gig. Baby's coming early, complications. Panic surged. Alex booked the first flight. At the hospital, Riley labored. Ben white-knuckled beside her. The baby, a boy, tiny and fierce, arrived blue-lipped, whisked to NICU. Harper luck, Ben joked weakly, but eyes betrayed terror. Alex donated platelets, Jamie rallied blankets from the center. Nights blurred in vinyl chairs, Ben's hand finding Alex's in the dark. Can't lose him. You won't, Alex vowed, blood tie taut. The boy stabilized, named Elias after their grandfather. Discharge brought Ben home hollowed, Riley weary. Alex stayed weeks, changing diapers, rocking colicky cries. Jamie joined weekends, his patience a bomb. This is family, he said, burping Elias under a mobile of wooden planes. But betrayal's echo resounded in a midnight call from Dad. Ben's debt, gambling to cover medicals, a slip back to old vices. He's spiraling, son. Alex confronted him in the garage, remodeled now into a nursery annex, tools traded for cribs. Why lie? Ben deflated. Didn't want a burden. Again. The fight erupted, words weapons. Alex's hurt raw, Ben's shame volcanic. You always bail me out. Like I'm the weak twin. Because you made me, Alex shouted. Door slammed. Not on Alex this time, but Ben fleeing into the night, truck keys jangling. Dawn found him at the bar, slumped over regrets. Alex dragged him home, Jamie's truck idling outside. Silence stretched, then Ben's whisper. I'm done hiding. Therapy AA for real. Alex nodded, bridge mending. Summer 2018 shimmered with tentative triumphs. Elias toddled. Ben's design sold to a Cleveland startup. Alex's first solo show in Chicago drew crowds. Jamie's thesis lauded. They visited Elmwood for the county fair. Ferris wheels spinning like fates. At the top, gondola swaying. Ben turned to Alex. Thanks for the blood. All of it. Alex grinned. Runs both ways. Yet climax brewed in quiet undercurrents. Ben's sponsor warned of relapse. Riley confided doubts. Alex mediated, twin intuition a compass. One stormy August eve, Ben vanished, truck at the shop, phone dead. Search parties scoured backroads, hearts hammering. Found at dawn. Wrecked against an oak, not accident but abandon. Keys tossed, walking into the woods like a ghost. Hospital again. Concussion, fractures. But in recovery, Ben broke fully. The email, the drinking, it's all fear of not being enough. For Riley, Elias. You. Tears carved paths. Alex held him, Jamie at the door. You are. Enough. Rebuilding began. Ben in rehab, Riley's grace infinite. Alex and Jamie wed in a lakeside ceremony. Vows under willows, Ben walking Alex down the aisle, Elias flower boy in tiny suspenders. To unbreakable bonds. Ben toasted, voice steady. The years wove forward like a tapestry frayed at edges but resilient in thread. By 2020, Chicago had claimed Alex and Jamie as natives. Brownstone in Andersonville, walls alive with rotating exhibits from Alex's rising career. The Harper Gallery, His own venture, crowd-funded with Ben's logo design, became a haven for Midwest queer artists, walls echoing with stories of survival and shimmer. Jamie taught adjunct, his phoenix tattoo now inked with a wedding band echo on Alex's finger. Elmwood evolved too grudgingly. The tire plant's corpse birthed a tech co-op, Ben's graphics firm at its heart, Twin Peaks Design. A wink to their scars. Riley thrived as a doula, Elias a whirlwind of curls and questions. Uncle Alex, why do you and Uncle Jamie kiss like mommy and daddy? Alex knelt, honest as dawn. Because love looks like that. Always. Pandemic hit like a thief, stealing breaths and gatherings. Quarantines bound them virtual. Zoom toasts for Elias's 5th birthday. Ben's screen framed by blueprints for a community center. Inclusive man. For everyone. Alex curated online shows. Jamie streamed lectures from the kitchen table. Ben confessed slips. A binge during lockdowns. But clawed back, sponsoring a kid from the center, mirroring his own redemption arc. Spring 2021 bloomed vaccines and visits. The family converged in Ohio for Mom's surprise 60th. Backyard bash under string lights, fireflies winking approval. Dad grilled with prosthetic steadiness, his second lease on life. Ben pulled Alex aside by the old garage, now a playhouse with rainbow shutters Riley insisted on. Sold the truck. Got an electric, greener, you know? Laughter, then gravity. Elias asked about the scar. Told him it's where brothers connect. Alex's eyes misted. He gets it. Hugs lingered, the knot tattoos pressing like seals. Climax crested that fall, unbidden. Ben's firm landed a contract, branding for a national pride campaign. But sabotage struck. Anonymous leaks, designs stolen, whispers of unstable leadership, echoes of the past. Ben traced it to an old shop rival, grudge nursed since the outing. Karma, he muttered, but fury simmered. Alex flew in, Jamie minding the gallery. They confronted the thief in a diner booth, coffee steaming like tempers. It's over, Alex said, voice twin to Ben's resolve. We're building, not breaking. The man slunk away, contract salvaged. But the scare unearthed Ben's core wound. What if I'm always the villain? You're not, Alex said, fierce. Villains don't fight for light. They drove home through amber fields, radio humming Springsteen, Thunder Road, anthems of escape and embrace. 2022 brought Elias's school play, The Wizard of Oz, him as a munchkin with Dorothy dreams. The Harpers filled the auditorium, cheers thundering. Backstage, Ben knelt, wiping chocolate from Elias's chin. You slayed, kid. Alex watched, heart full. The boy who'd locked him away now fathering openness. Tragedy shadowed summer's end. Uncle Hank, the brow-furrowed one from the party. Passed sudden, aneurysm in his sleep. Funeral in the church of their baptisms, eulogies heavy with what-ifs. Ben spoke, voice cracking. Family's messy, but it's the mess that mends. Alex stood beside, hand in Jamie's. Riley cradling newborn Lila. Elias's sister, surprise bundle of joy and jet lag. Grief forged them tighter. Ben and Riley relocated north to a suburb nearer Cincinnati. Bridging worlds. Visits became rhythms. Harvest festivals with hayrides, winter solstice suppers by the hearth. Alex and Jamie adopted a rescue pup, a scruffy mutt named Knot, symbol of ties reforged. By 2025, the twins turned 30, scars silvered but stories burnished. Bash at the gallery. Cincinnati skyline twinkling through windows, canvases of their shared history. Garages transfigured to gardens. Ben gifted a sculpture. 2 figures entwined in bronze, blood-red veins pulsing light. For the blood, he toasted. And the brother. Alex pulled him close, whispers for ears alone. No more doors. Ben nodded, eyes mirror-bright. Promise. The night wound down to slow dances. Jamie twirling Alex under chandeliers. Ben and Riley swaying with babes in arms. Outside, city rain pattered soft, washing clean. Alex leaned into Jamie, breath sinking. We made it. Humanity's arc bent gentle here. Not erasure of pain, but elevation through it. Betrayals became blueprints, conflicts the clay of compassion. In America's heartland sprawl, from Elmwood's quiet streets to Chicago's ceaseless hum, the Harpers wove on, twins not in form alone, but in forgiveness's fierce grace. Blood saved Ben once, love saved them all. And in the quiet after, as stars pricked the velvet sky, Alex traced his scar, smiling at the echo, unbreakable, unbound.